Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Airspeed Prime here with my next Avatar news update video. Straight away I will say that I will cover most of the Magic the Gathering information that we got today on the stream in a video tomorrow. I wasn't expecting maybe this much information to come out, and I need a little bit more time to kind of go over it before I make a video. I'll cover most of the kind of main news pieces because again, most of it was just we got more cards revealed from the set to go with the cards we already had, but there's a few kind of bigger things I want to go over that I think it's important for people to know, but the full card details I'll go over tomorrow. And there's also some other non-Magic pieces of news that I do want to cover here as well. So first of all, I think it's very important to just know about this because it is another product for Avatar Magic the Gathering that we didn't know about before. Now, we assumed they were going to do this, but it's confirmed now. Secret Lair Avatar The Last Airbender is confirmed. They're going to be doing a super drop, which I think just means that they're going to be doing multiple Secret Lair drops, so they call it the super drop overall, because they're all going to be releasing at the same time. So yeah, the super drop for Avatar Secret Lair is going to happen on November 17th, 2025 at 9 AM Pacific time. Again, you will have to buy it directly from Wizards on their Secret Lair website. What a Secret Lair is, I'll use the one that they did reveal as an example. This is Secret Lair My Cabbages. It is just a group of specifically chosen kind of cards to make up a theme. They have new art for them. Most of the time they're reprints, but sometimes they can be original card designs. In this case, this is a group of reprint cards that they've put Cabbage Merchant art on to kind of represent the idea of him constantly getting his cabbages destroyed. So you can see all of these cards reference basically destroying cards effectively. Chain of Vapor is kind of almost like water destroying his cards, Meltdown Fire, Nature's Claim Earth. Anguished Unmaking is just meant to be the sheer anguish of the destruction of the cabbages, and then Putrefy, his stuff getting destroyed by bug like infestation. It's cool, it's flavorful, it is a set of 5 full art cards of course, but you are paying for that basically because yeah, you get 5 cards and this is going to cost you $30 for non-foil, and if you want them in foil, $40. So that's the kind of idea. And then again, realistically, we're probably getting at least 4 or 5 of these sets. They will bundle them together. Like you can just buy the full super drop in foil, in non-foil, depending on what way they do it. But we don't know the full pricing and details on that. They do say they will reveal the rest of it soon, which I assume will be part of the spoilers, broadly speaking, across the week as we get the full set released, because we're going to have the full set by November 7th. So I assume that would include the Secret Lair stuff. We'll know what we're kind of getting into. And I think the other point to make on this, I think usually with Secret Lairs, I think they do this for pretty much all of them. It's 5 listed cards, but then they will always do a thing where they'll add like a kind of chase card to each Secret Lair. So Avatar is probably going to have some sort of a thing where like technically the Secret Lair will be actually 6 cards, but the 6th card will have a chance to either be the kind of common chase card that you'll get most of the time, or you'll have a rare chance at getting more of a fancy chase Secret Lair card, and they will be the same across all the different Secret Lairs. It's just that there likely is going to be an extra card. I think that is typically always the thing with Secret Lairs. But yeah, have your stuff ready to go on Secret Lair website because there will be a giant online queue. Because of how popular Magic is and how much kind of scalping is going on surrounding it, especially Secret Lairs, because they purposefully make them kind of weirdly hard to get, you have to be there straight away. If you are in America, I think especially, they do tend to always sell out. Other regions, not as much as quickly, but you, broadly speaking, do, for the most part, need to be there at launch to guarantee you get all the stuff that you want. And if you are trying to collect the full set, well, this is kind of the easiest way, I suppose, to get everything. Yes, these cards will eventually go for sale on the secondary market, but they're a little bit weirdly done sometimes in terms of, do they keep their value, do they not keep their value? It's kind of tricky, but just to make it clear, Secret Lair Avatar is a thing. And it is another product that's kind of, part of the overall collection, so just be aware of that. Otherwise, I will just link below that the card image gallery has updated and we have a bunch of new cards here. A lot of interesting stuff to go over. Legend of Karuk, double-sided card, for instance, like the Sozin. Interesting. Bloodbending card. Multiple Wanshi Tongs, all the different alternate arts of the cards. A bunch of different Azula cards we got to see here as well. Cave of Two Lovers card. There's so much that they showed already, and there's still hundreds of cards still to be revealed over the next couple of days. So it's exciting times here, and I'm loving everything that I've seen so far. Obviously, I'll wait to go into a lot of this in depth tomorrow, but I'll just end by pretty much saying that, hey, there's also this article. The Collecting Magic the Gathering Avatar article is here. So if you are getting very confused about like what's in each of the products, what the different alternate arts are, how difficult they are to get, this article goes into all that detail. It highlights some of the big highlight cards from the set, and then goes into the weeds on the details in terms of what's the MSRP for all the products, because you really shouldn't be paying over the odds for this when this is the pricing that it's meant to be. Key dates in terms of stuff that's happening, but again, most of it is every card is going to be in the image gallery on the set by the 7th. Pre-release week is the week afterwards, and then the set drops the week after that. There's a buy a box card, which you can read about here. And then, yeah, all the different alternate arts and different treatments of cards that you can get are all listed here. Interestingly, there is a whole other group of full art lands, the Journey, Avatar's Journey lands, to go with the full art Appa lands, which is nice. And then, yeah, they've also updated this to give the full details of how many commons there are, then the full breakdown of what you can get in each pack and in what slot in each pack you can get the cards in, which is interesting just to kind of read through if you want the full information. Some of the creator reveals have also started to happen, so I don't think Ty Lee is in the database, but the card has been revealed. So here's our first Ty Lee Chi Blocker, as well as the first Mechanist card, the Mechanist Aerial Artisan. So that's just cool to see that some of the creator stuff is happening as well. But we'll get into the non-MTG news. So first up, we have this. Dark Horse Comics kind of dropping this a little bit out of nowhere, in that I don't know why they couldn't have said this at San Diego Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con. No, let's wait until like, what, 3 weeks after New York Comic-Con to finally reveal the creators for the Kyoshi Warrior comic. And again, like, there's still no cover for this. There's still no release date. They're still not really properly going into details on, you know, it's a comic series. What does that mean in terms of Avatar? As in, like, you might think I'm being kind of weird about that, but we're not used to that. We usually get graphic novels and the books are done in like trilogies, but this is apparently a 3-issue comic series, as in just single issues, but we don't know the format. Like, are they just normal comic issues, or are they doing it in a slightly different way? I'm really confused as to the way they're doing the rollout of information here overall, because a lot of these images that they showed off here are basically the images they showed off at San Diego and New York Comic-Con. So we've seen a lot of this already. I think this is new. This shot here of the characters in different outfits. This one is definitely new, showing off the full team. And again, just so we're clear here, what this series is actually about is it's about the Kyoshi Warriors. It seems like there's going to be a particular focus given to the rest of Suki's team. So Suki is here, but we also have Aika, Fume, Mira, and Rie, who are also kind of on the team. And those characters are going to get properly fleshed out across these issues. So it's set, I think, during the show. I think we roughly know about that, but again, the information isn't super clear out there about that. So yeah, they revealed who the creative team is. So as you can see here, art is going to be by Belle Bessa, joined by Brandon Huang, who I guess is the writer, and then Adele Matera is the colorist. So more details very soon, apparently. Now, what does that mean? I think that's always a bit like, if it is actually properly soon, say when it is so we can build up to that news actually being released. Because when you say that, it makes it seem like you're actually going to give a proper announcement. But I'm like, what is a proper announcement for Dark Horse? Or is it just another tweet? Is an outlet getting a reveal like an IGN or something like that? Or is it just going to be a listing that goes up? Like, a lot of this stuff is like, come on, tell us what's actually happening here. But this creative team is effectively the creative team from this year's Free Comic Book Day book, Ramen Rumble. So I think the highlight here is definitely the artist here. Bell Bessa, the art on Ramen Rumble was really, really good. I think everyone came together in the fandom, everyone who read that book felt that absolutely we want Bell Bessa art on more stuff. Bring Bell Bessa back. And they have done that immediately. Like, this is a pretty quick turnaround from Free Comic Book Day book straight away to one of the kind of new releases, basically. So that is really, really good to see. Brandon Huang is coming back as the writer. Now, what I will say about this book is that I think the art was the highlight of Ramen Rumble, and I didn't think too much of the story. But I also said in my review that I don't think any of that was really on the writing, because I think the premise of a story only about Samurai Appa, Ronin Momo just didn't allow the writer to really do anything of note. And any real criticism of the writing I would have just is, I think, almost diminished solely by the fact that the book is just about dream characters, effectively. So Brandon Huang, this will be where we see how good of a writer Brandon Huang is with this Kyoshi Warrior series. I think you can't really say too much about things from Ramen Rumble, because it felt like the initial premise of what the book was about causes problems from the get-go. But otherwise, the art creative team looked like it's going to be really fantastic. And the early kind of preview sketch stuff does look really good. It looks super, super clean on model. And I'm excited to learn more about the other Kyoshi Warrior characters and see what they're about, what they get up to. If it is properly kind of delving into like gaps in their stories and that, like, oh yeah, when Suki was here, this is what the rest of the team was doing. I think that could actually be very, very cool. But I really think Dark Horse need to step up communication on this in terms of like, when is it coming out? I appreciate that they're finally getting around to it here, because it gives the impression that like, okay, we could actually like advance where we are here very quickly, and this book might not actually be too far off. Especially if it is single issues. The turnaround on single issues like 2022 page books is going to be a bit quicker than, of course, the graphic novels, which have to be 72 pages. So the solicitations don't need to be as far out because it is single issue comics. It's just that I think they need to make it clear to people earlier that that's what we're dealing with here, and address the whole like cover situation in terms of how many alternate covers are we maybe going to have, how are these books going to get collected in the future, what's the plan here. I'm not really sure. But with this creator lineup, it tells us another thing, which is that obviously it's not Peter Wortman and Faith Erin Hicks on ATLA Comics. It's a different team. But if you look at Peter Wortman and Faith Erin Hicks on social media, we basically know that they are working on an Avatar book. Now, we don't know what that is because it hasn't been announced. But I'm assuming it's probably the next Avatar one-shot comic series. Now, it could be something else. It could be tied into whatever Dark Horse are maybe trying to do that might coincide with the movie. We don't know if they are doing anything like that. But again, the communication hasn't been great. But they're realistically the options, is that it's continuing the series that we have already, the one-shots, which would make a lot of sense. Or it's something different that they can't really talk about right now because it's maybe tie-in material or something like that for the movie or something like that. But either way, I think it's a good sign that this is basically being treated as a complete extra style of book, and it's not a replacement, I think, for another series. An expansion like this has, I think, been needed for a while. So I hope that this does well and miniseries can become something that we get. I hope this can allow them to have a little bit more of a varied maybe approach to storytelling, where, okay, this I think is planned to be 3 issues, but that you can do theoretically down the line if you want to, a 5-issue miniseries if you really want to. Either way, I'm excited for this. I just wish they would do a better job at kind of marketing these books, promoting them, just presenting information. And especially at this point in time where I feel like Dark Horse, it's looking like a rough scheduling lineup for them into the future, just because they haven't actually announced a new content book for 2026 yet. This would be the first one whenever they get around to doing it. They need to get on that, and this is good, but it's like, yeah, why is it taking so long, and why is there still not that much information in terms of like, what's the title of this comic series? Why do you not have a title yet? Like, this feels like a weird thing to do without some of that base level information there off the get-go, and it just makes it feel like something weird is happening behind the scenes with some of the publishing stuff. But we will move on, because yeah, there's not too much to speculate about with this that I haven't done already. Next thing would just be this. This is Avatar Fighters, Avatar Legend, the fighting game. So this was announced obviously like only a few weeks ago at New York Comic Con. Now they are teasing that a closed alpha test is coming up. Now, bit of a weird video here in terms of what this is, in that what this video goes through is that they announce Justin Wong, who is well known in the fighting game space as like an ambassador for this game, a community ambassador for this game. So I guess he'll be involved in making videos and stuff like that about this, presenting information, which is a probably good move to help, you know, promote this game within the kind of fighting game space, which is cool and all. In terms of the actual like closed alpha test announcement, it really is literally just, hey, we're doing a closed alpha test. Look at our social medias where we will at some point in the future properly announce the closed alpha test with details. Because there is no like date or anything like that. There's no real true information about like when or what the alpha test is. The only details are right at the end. It says closed alpha coming soon, and it will have 4 playable characters. So you can see here, Aang, Korra, Katara, and Zuko will be the playable characters in the alpha, which is fine. That's cool. That makes sense. But yeah, when is it? You know, when can we sign up? Is it just online, or is this going to be you get to play a little bit of single player? I don't really know. Overall. And then the rest of it is just there's a kind of gameplay trailer for Evo, which isn't like, from an Avatar perspective, this doesn't really reveal much else because it only uses the characters that were already in the initial trailer. I think the focus of this trailer is mostly on, let's actually show you full sequences of 2 players actually fighting each other. So it's not just like hype moments. This is actually like bits of gameplay showing you what the game will be like, more on a kind of basis of like actual back and forth counters, and you can see the movement here, a few hits going in but a lot of dodging, a couple of blocks I think you get to see over the course of this, but you get to see kind of the animation on display here a little bit more, the scope of some of the moves and the move sets and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. And then they build up to Korra versus Zuko, where Korra uses her kind of ultimate attack, which is full animated here, which is very nice. Not sure about the voice acting here. I don't think they're using the actual voice actors. Obviously for Aang they're not, because Zach Tyler Eisen isn't a voice actor anymore. But I just in general don't think they probably have access to the voice actors for the most part. We'll see if they ever go about announcing that, but that's going to be a little bit of a frustration if that's not kind of, the voice acting isn't where it needs to be. But for me, I think with this game, I am primarily kind of just waiting to see like, hey, what interesting characters did they announce? And then, yeah, what are the details of the story mode? Like, what is the story for this game? Is it anything like the leaks that kind of came out? in the kind of final version. How crazy are you going to go with that? And are you properly doing multi-era, or is it just Aang and Korra, or are you going into the other stuff as well? We of course are just waiting to see. Right now, I think this feels more like the closed alpha is maybe more for the fighting game aspect of this, rather than maybe the Avatar fans side of things. But we have to wait and see, of course. So yeah. Just keep an eye on the Avatar Fighters social medias, I guess, for the closed alpha sign up. I'll cover it whenever it comes around, just so you guys are informed. But that's basically the information we have at this point in time. I appreciate that they've kind of at least continued the marketing a little bit on this, continuing on from the New York Comic Con hype. Because, again, the game is summer 2026, so they kind of have to get through this stuff quick-ish. Like, this is a closed alpha. It's not a beta yet. It's a closed alpha, not even an open one. And then I guess they're at some point going to do maybe a closed or open beta before launch and stuff like that. And by that time they'll have to reveal more of the kind of single player stuff, the different modes and stuff like that. And we have to just get through a lot of different things. Right now, I think a lot of this early basic stuff is going to mostly just be testing that the core gameplay works, and then we can maybe have some of the Avatar Flair stuff actually begin to come out. So that's that. But yeah, in the comments, let me know what your thoughts were. If you did watch the magic reveal stuff, what excited you, and I can maybe focus on some of the cards you guys highlight in the video tomorrow. But the main thing, I suppose, is primarily just this. What are your thoughts on this, the decision, the timing on this, the creative team? I'm pretty happy with this as the creative team. I like that they seem to have found more creators that they really like to work with. And I think it's a good step in the right direction that we're doing a different style of book. And it's an addition, it seems like, and not a replacement for other books as well. Still a long way to go to get back to the point where we actually have a bunch of books announced for next year, but hopefully that happens sooner rather than later. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on all this stuff, but that's been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.